everybody. This is Scott Smith with the Saturday service. This will be for Saturday the 17th and for that following week to the following Saturday. I am here for the Saturday service. And this week we're using the Tarot of the Spirit. This is by Pamela Eakins with beautiful, oh look, there's the star. Beautiful artwork on the deck. I'm gonna just leave that star out since that just keeps on popping up week after week after week. And shuffle these cards. I'm using this deck this week because the moon is in Aquarius for the full moon, and this is an abstract spiritual deck of kind of psychic spiritual work, and for me that encapsulates the Aquarian energy. I wanted to find like a weird deck, like something that was kind of non-standard, because if Aquarians are anything, they are dancing or whatever to the beat of their own drum. Sometimes even at the poetry read, they are dancing to the beat of their own drum, and this is why we love Aquarius, is because they bring in the energy of the rebel to show us innovation. The full moon, technically, if I'm referencing my calendar, is on Sunday Eastern time in the afternoon, which makes it late morning on Sunday. So that means if I'm going to do full moon work and I want it to be in Aquarius, I need to do it on Saturday night, because Sunday night is going to be in Pisces. It's no longer full moon in Aquarius, and in fact it's no longer full. It is then decimating, and I don't want to do wanting magic when I want to do a full moon working, unless I want to do wanting magic. So I just want to state that if you're going to hit the full moon, my advice would be Saturday night, because it is on its way to full, and you're going to get the most out of that energy because you're really going to throw it into the accelerating force of the full moon. And that will rocket ship some things out there for you. If you hit it on Sunday, try banishment and try the influences of Pisces and see what that will bring for you instead of manifestation with that Aquarian full moon. That's especially magical as we are in Leo, which is its opposite sign. So yeah, play with those scenarios and the best magic that you can do for yourself. This week, I wanted to talk about something before I actually pulled the cards, and the idea is not fully formed in my head yet, but that's okay, because I'm not here to flash and dazzle you, and I'm here to give you some information. So buckle up, sit back, and relax, or do whatever it is that you're doing, and follow along. We, you and I and everybody, have a very comfortable way of doing things, and we encounter problems, we think that this is the best way it can be done. And this may be true for us, but this is not true for everybody else. And we may have found ourselves in situations or find ourselves in situations with other people who are facing similar problems. The reminder is that we each process things differently. While the solution may be to solve a problem, the approach to that solution is going to look different for everybody. And our assumption that our way is the best way for everyone else to process it often gets us into a sticky situation, because we as a personality want someone else to believe that we have the best way of things, and that's not always true. While the goal may be similar, the way to it is going to be different depending on the person. And I know in therapies and in magics, there are certain things that are kind of universal. Everyone has a different approach. I had a conversation today with someone during a tarot reading, and we were talking about that very thing. Some people process things very physically. Some people process that ecstatically. Some people process action-oriented and manifest in doing things. Some people process things by letting it sink in, by feeling, and just be open to that. That's all not going to look the way that we think it should look. And just keep that perspective as we approach the week. As we started, again, I'm just going to show it one more time. We pulled the star. This is the funniest thing ever. I hear you, Spirit. I hear you. We hold hope. We hold the energy of the future we would like to see and keep that crystal clear in our vision. And that vision, if it is truly hopeful, it is truly the star, includes all beings, not just the special few. So we're just going to bookmark that because the star keeps on appearing. Interestingly, when I asked what the card was for the full moon in particular, with that moon in Aquarius, you'll never guess what I'm going to show you. Maybe you will. It is the Tower. It is the Tower. So again, the Tower and the star. How often does the message come through for the collective in that way? This is or has been a time of destruction, and we still hold on to the light of the direction. Sort of pinging off that. You may find yourself in situations in which you think healing should be done in a certain way, or you think an issue may be done or addressed in a certain way. And just that Aquarius star energy. Everyone has their own approach to hope. It's just reminding them that there is hope, and that might be the best thing that you can do. So I'm just going to bookmark those things there for this full moon energy in Aquarius. If I have the Tower for that full moon in Aquarius, this would be a great time to break apart anything that needs its final break apart, or sweep aside the rubble, right, to make the space for the good things that you need for it to come in. I personally, spiritually, magically think that it would be good to do some crown work to root work. That is cleaning up the path of energy through the body. So if you're an energy worker, or you do any sort of work with any energy systems in your body, working from the transpersonal down through and into the physical body may be helpful for you in whatever way that you do that you find works best for you. You're not here in front of me. If this was an individual appointment, I could definitely suggest to you the best way to do that for yourself, but you're not. So I can't give you a general, this is the best way to do that thing. I can give you the impetus. I can give you the motivation for that. Transpersonal to the physical, clearing, right? That Tower, just thinking of that lightning bolt strike, right? Just sort of blowing away, unfettering yourself, right? That could be a helpful thing with the star in mind, with the hope in mind, with the next step in mind. It's very easy to glamorize the destructive aspects and justify them and our actions and our thoughts and our words and things, but ultimately, if they aren't serving that other end of things, there's no vision that you're including in yourself on what comes after XYZ. I'd look at that. I would consider what that means, because you want the next steps, and to just go out in a blaze of, to slide in across the finish line, regardless of the consequences, is juvenile at best. There's actions that we take which have consequences in the world. And I just want everybody to think about that when we have cards like the Tower and the Star in a reading. To welcome the week, we have in this deck, it is called the Nine of Water. This is the rainbow mirror. That would be the Nine of Cups in your deck if you want to reference your own. And I want to talk a little bit about this deck. That this deck has been charged when we did some particular work while we were training some of our Reiki master students in the Karuna Reiki tradition. This deck was especially imprinted with that sort of energy to help for the hope, love, optimism, next step, future growth, tap into your higher self, be your authentic self, embrace your true nature. It doesn't always have to be high, but just whatever that truth is for you. This deck was really imprinted with that, so the messages tend to be more spiritual. At the start of the week, I would look, so this would be of full moon or post full moon. I would be reflective. I would reflect upon what you have, what has occurred, what you have accrued, what sort of energies have come in, and what it means for you. How is this a wealth for you, or how is this a loss for you, or how is this an accounting? A little bit of an accounting, but this is emotional, right? So this is, how do I feel? What has brought me to these feelings? And reflect upon those things. I would pay special attention to, if you're doing any sort of meditative work, or you're doing any visionary work as part of your magical work, to the types of visions and images that comes through, because it has that Aquarian energy with that Nine of Cups, which means it's going to reflect some deep things for yourself, and to really look at the visionary experience when you're doing magic as the reflective surface of the water, sort of catching a light. Just sort of see what that means for your surface self. And if you care to understand what's deeper than that, then feel, Really feel into the emotional body, really feel into the deep you, and ask what your feelings are about those sorts of things. When we have an idea that connects vision with feeling in our own body, we have a very clear answer about the way that we need to go forward. So I'd like you just to consider that as a means, as a method of things. If that's foreign to you, if that's beyond you, use your cards, right? Or try some scrying, like, use a crystal ball, or use a black mirror, or some sort of scrying technique to just sort of like let your mind drift and allow yourself to feel and experience those things coming up, because this moon energy with the 9 of Cups can create a little bit of a mirror for us that will reveal other aspects or other colors that we may not be seeing. That's just an important thing, I think, to lead in with the week. This reflection is going to talk to us about our actions in the world. Our card is the Knight of Pentacles. This would, in this deck, is called the Brother Earth. This is that Aries, Taurus energy. So there is both warrior and steward aspects or energies that are part of this call. So it's asking us really in our march towards whatever we're doing, and this is a reminder for any night energy, not to be so engrossed or so enamored with that purpose or vision that we get lost in it. Like, it physically must be done this way, it must be blah, 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 you must feel it, you must do the work, you must do any of those things, like you must do, right? Okay, Taurus, like, what must we do, right? Be open to other perspectives, right? Be open to other ideas, be open to other methods. While the night energy is really great for activating, right? There is a fire and earth here. So it's to bring passion to purpose, right? Get something done, kick ass, like whatever the thing is, right? To remember the single-mindedness might be over-focused in other areas. So it might be good to serve your purpose. You want to be careful that it's not like overlapping other people's personal choices, or overlapping other projects, other assignments, other relationships, because it may not be appropriate for that, right? But with that night energy, we become super focused, like it's this and I'm going to do this thing, and and it's like, calm down. Yes, it's for that purpose, and also not for these other things, right? Just to sort of remember that the moon is going to move from Aquarius into Pisces, that late Sunday into Monday energies. We're going to have that dreamy quality. We're going to have that potential to sort of like do things that open us up to the ecstatic. And then Pisces, it's going to move into Aries. So that Aries card here, this Aries Taurus energy, can be double activating. It's like, what is your warrior spirit really calling you to serve? Right? And stewardship. What do you are in stewardship, right? Like, is this to the earth? Is this serving my body? Is this serving the planet? Is this serving this relationship? Not that you should put everything else before you. Let's not read too much into that, right? But in a broader sense, what these things mean, how does the warrior and the steward energy come together for you midweek, and not to become too over-focused? At least not so much that it overlaps other areas of your life. Just sort of watch that. The determination, right? And then the end of the week, we have the Four of Wind, which is mastery. I love this card. It's rainbows and butterflies, yay! But this has that emphasis in there of like a double, like a Libra, Jupiter quality to it. So it's an expansive, balancing effect, which, the Four of Swords can be like kind of like a mini hermit in a certain way, or it could be like over meticulousness. It could be like putting all your ducks in a row, and then making sure everyone else's ducks, salt, pepper shakers, herbs, spices, etc., are in a row as well. It could be too much of that thing. When I see the Four of Swords, this generally tells me a couple of things. Swords, mind, breath. So it's to remember your breath, take deep breaths, regulate your breathing. What are you doing with your breath work this week? How do you use that for your best advantage? It is a 4, so it's stability, and it's the blade, so it's mind, it's breath, it's air. This can also have a lot to do with meditative practices. So I would say if the beginning of the week is reflective, the middle of the week is action-oriented, the end of the week is contemplative. I think that these are great cards when we consider the energy of the full moon having that tower emphasis to it. It gives us sort of like mediating points or energies to sort of anchor in, to say, like, at the start of the week, I'm going to be reflective about things. I'm going to be observant. I'm going to be open to other possibilities. At the middle of the week, I'm going to decide what my possibilities are. I'm going to be determined. I'm going to go for those things, not to be over-determined or over-critical, right? Letting that first part of the week still exist within it. And in the final aspect of the week, you know, like checking in with the breath, checking in with the four corner aspects of your life. Like, what are the pillars of the things? Like, what are your ideas? If you really wanted to go deep on that one, you could take out your journal and really sit and say, like, you know, what are the 4 F's of my life? You know, like, what, like, you know, how do I treat my my body and my clothing, my food and my fridge, you know, like my home and where I live, and you know, where's my joy? How am I engaging in pleasure in my life? And just sort of look at those 4 things. There's no big message for this week. It's really kind of this and that, a lot of general things. And we move from the Aquarian energy, Pisces, Aries, Taurus, into like a Gemini energy. We're finishing out the week. You know, these are all just sort of great qualities for it. I know lots of people have talked up this full moon and all the possibilities and potentials to it, and that is astrology, right? And this is tarot. So this is about actions and things we do in the here and now. And these are contemplative, reflective, and mindful practices for the week. Right. So how do you address the tower in your life, and where's the star? How do you reflect on that? What are you doing for the things in your life? Where's your breath? How's your body? And how is everything sort of flowing together? That's my reading for the week. I would love, you know, for there to be a deeper message, at least from my perspective. Maybe you're getting a lot out of this, but it doesn't always have to be. Sometimes it's just this and that, and recognizing the importance in the this and that, and just doing the laundry, paying the bills, balancing your checkbook, right? Or enjoying that show or book that you have, or enjoying the time that you have with each other. Just being open to those things. And these minor reminders are just sort of ways in which we can say, this energy is influencing this moment and this time, and this is what I can do about it. Right? Right. Until then, this is Scott Smith. You can find me at starandstonellc.com. I'm all over the internet, everywhere, for all those things. I really appreciate the new subscribes. We're getting like a couple of people every week. I love it. I'd love to hear from you. I got a question last week on reincarnation. That's on the Magic and Witchcraft playlist. And that was really fun to work with. So if you have questions about theories or philosophies or any of those things, and I might be able to answer it, I'll let you know, and I'll do my best here on the channel. You can find this on the patreon.com/Scott K. Smith. It's always free there, so you'll always get a reminder in your inbox when it's posted. There's other great things too for paying subscribers there as well. And I hope you have a wonderful week. Happy full moon, good manifesting. May your circle be blessed, and I will see you on the flip side.